Hey, thank you for joining us at parttimetrader.net. This is course number 3 in the beginner course series. We're going to go over Sharia-compliant investing and what makes a stock halal and what is halal trading. So I'm going to get into that. Let me just kick this off here. Share my screen. So let's talk about what makes a stock trade halal. Get that up here. Perfect. All right. So halal investing means aligning our financial actions with our faith. It's not just about profit, but about how we earn it. With over $2 trillion in demand for Sharia compliant investments, it's clear that Muslims want ethical, faith-based options. Now, let's look at why is halal so important. The Prophet ﷺ warned of a time when people wouldn't care where their wealth came from, halal or haram. That time is now. This hadith reminds us why we must care deeply about the source of our income. Let's get into barakah now. In Surah Araf, Allah promises barakah, heavenly and earthly blessings for those who are mindful of Him. Barakah isn't just material gain, it's peace, ease, and benefit in what we already have. Now let's look at what barakah looks like. Sometimes barakah means more of something, like a small meal feeding many. Other times it's about impact, a little time or wealth going a long way. Barakah makes things last, grow, and benefit more than we expect. Let's transition into what are some of the harms of haram. Allah strongly warns against riba, interest, as it leads to spiritual, social, and even economic harm. The Prophet ﷺ said usury doesn't increase wealth. It actually brings loss, disgrace, and divine punishment when widespread. So let's touch on the core principles of halal stock trading. Halal investing avoids riba, promotes ethical industries, supports real value, and encourages risk sharing. It's about participating in the real economy without exploiting, or harming others. Let's touch on Sharia equity screening criteria. I want you to think ethical tech, healthcare, halal food. These are usually halal, but conventional banks, alcohol, gambling, pornography, clearly haram. Mixed companies require detailed analysis. Non-halal income must be under 5%. For example, Apple is a well-known company. Apple might have non-halal income. How's that possible? They have a ton of cash and they're earning interest on it. And once that interest income gets over 5%, we got trouble. Let's talk about some examples of halal and haram stocks. Think ethical tech, healthcare, halal food. These are usually halal, but conventional banks, alcohol, gambling, no go. Mixed companies require detailed analysis. Non-halal income must be under 5%. Types of transactions to avoid. We want to avoid leverage. This is important. I want to stop and pause there for a minute. You've probably seen ads about margin trading accounts, CFDs. These are all haram. In my early days when I didn't know I was margin trading, I realized later it's not Sharia compliant. I was paying interest on the money the bank with the broker was giving me, and I was trading with leverage. Very risky as well. And most importantly, it's haram. So we need to avoid leverage, right? And we need to avoid short selling and speculative options. These involve riba and excessive uncertainty. Also want to avoid manipulation. Islamic investing is rooted in honesty and fairness. Ethical and responsible investing, what is that? Well, Islamic investing isn't just about avoiding haram, it's about choosing good. We support companies that benefit society, protect the environment, and treat workers fairly. This aligns perfectly with ESG values, long-term, ethical, and sustainable. Now let's get into additional obligations for Muslim investors. We have added duties. Paying 2.5% zakat on your investments using Islamic brokerages that avoid riba potentially, and regularly screening our portfolios. If any non-compliant income slips and we purify it through charity, it's a financial and spiritual responsibility. Here are some Sharia screening tools. Apps like Zoya and Islamicly, they can flag a stock if it's haram, and then they regularly screen on a monthly basis. They'll update the data, and they follow AOFI. So AOFI is a global organization that sets the standard for Sharia, and if it passes the AOFI criteria, then apps like Zoya and Islamicly, and just recently a new one has come in, Musafa. We use that as well at parttimetrader.net. Now, in summary, the keys to halal stock trading. I want to recap. We need to screen carefully. Number one, we need to trade ethically. Number two, and we need to fulfill our spiritual duties like zakat and purification. Halal investing is about more than returns. It's about aligning your money with your morals and letting barakah do the rest. I'll see you in the next session. Thanks for joining today. I'll see you in the next session. Thanks for joining today.